Hey Capricorns, and welcome to your December 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And this is it, Capricorns. I feel like there is a lot to talk about for you guys because we have Saturn finally moving into your sign in December here. And unsurprisingly, that is taking place during the most dramatic week of your month, which is the third week. Saturn moves into Capricorn on December 20th. And it should be quite wonderful for you guys, if I'm honest. Capricorn is Saturn's favorite sign. It does not like to be in Sagittarius, so it's going to be happy to be out of that and to be moving into Capricorn. So for those of you who've been working on yourself, who have been working with how you've implemented yourself into other people, how other people have affected you, and being able to have let go of that, you're going to have a very wonderful experience, a lot of transformations, a lot of ability to attain what you feel like you've never been able to, a lot of ability to set structures and ascend hierarchical systems which in the past have pervaded you becomes possible starting now and specifically over the next 2 years. There could be some loose ends to tie up though before you get there, as your energy is very, I don't want to say conflicted, but it's definitely eccentric. You have things which deal with collaborations, teamworks, even deception, integration, family ideals, and the cleansing power of the truth come to mind as well, just as some random bullet points to sort of structure up your reading. You are still holding on to something, and you are still, I want to say, collecting debt or collecting interest on old emotional patterns and ideas. Capricorn in and of itself is not the most emotional sign. Most Capricorns don't have time for this, and most Capricorns actually aren't even that involved in spiritual things. So if you're here at my channel, if you're watching what I'm doing, it's probably coming from other places in your chart, or perhaps you like how organized I am as a reader. May we all laugh a bit, but I block things out in very specific times. Like I use week systems and I try to be specific in certain ways. So for that reason, I've had lovely Capricorns who I've worked with and who have come to me, and I've been so appreciative of that. And I've been really happy to read for you guys. It's a good month for you guys to get a reading or something. It's a good month for you guys to understand how far you've come. Check the description box below and you can book a time with me. I'll probably be selling out pretty quickly in December because I want to take about a week at the end to sort of take stock of where I am. So I may not be working that much towards the end of December. So definitely get those while I'm still available. I will be selling out quickly. Anyway, it's a good month, even if it's not from me, to speak to somebody who can help you understand time and who can help you understand energies and patterns and experiences with time, because time is going to become very, very emphasized for you. It's passed very strangely for you because, again, you don't jive so well with Sagittarius energy, which is where the planet of time, Saturn, has been. So you may have really lost track, or you may have really not understood how you earn so much money so quickly when the rest of your life, which was so long, was so unaffected by money. Or you may not understand where all the money went and how it went in that period of time. You may not understand how your 10-year marriage lasted much longer than your 30-year marriage, or it feels you feel caught in some kind of time loop or new understanding of time which pervades everyone, and you're ultimately having to come to the conclusions yourself. But you can have things taken from you in December. There's a very taking energy that I feel from Capricorn, because sometimes to understand how life is structured, we have to be stripped, or we have to be taken from or expelled from something, cleansed from something. It is a very purging energy, so detoxing will be important. Going to the sauna, experiencing things which push out, which push things away or make you less needy or clinging. Your opposite energy is Cancer, and it holds on. So Capricorn inevitably has to be a sign that kind of lets go and pushes out. It's an important month for you guys to establish boundaries, or for you guys to be able to let go and understand what that tells you or what that gives to you at a deeper level. You have Four of Pentacles in your reading, so you may be tempted to really hold on, or you may be tempted to like have this undying grasp on people or experiences or the past. Your ultimate challenge is in letting go, Capricorn, or within, and something deeper than that. A lot of spiritual people, including myself, talk about the process of letting go, associating that with the death card, associating that with the process of purging. But there's something else that I feel we're going to learn over the next year from you, Capricorn, about the process of letting go, and it feels like now you're determining what that is. So we are all learning, we're all watching, we're all there for you too. A lot of people that you thought may have been there for you may not be starting now, but you will find support in new ways or in new people that you may not have expected to be around. So congratulations for that. There is a big blessing there that is needed to acknowledge by you. Like, you need to acknowledge the blessing that you're encountering in support in places that you may not have expected, or in types of people or areas that you may not have expected. You may start to feel supported by people who you don't get that much from, or by people who give you very short encounters. Like, I sense you being at the store or being out in public and having small talk or conversations with people, and that gives you more perhaps than people who you are taking a long time to communicate with, or people who've been there for a long time. Relationships may come to end here, but it's okay. It feels like you want it more than they do, and again, it becomes a big blessing. You've got to find a balance in relationships in general, though, and understand where you went wrong as well. Understand where you weren't the best person, because Capricorn never is the best person, and that's just the reality of the situation. You are Saturn. You are not to be experienced as best, but to be experienced as what is right, because you do things that are right. You make the right choices, Capricorn, most of the time. Obviously, nobody's perfect, and you too are human. As I talked a lot about the humanity of Capricorn in my monthly horoscopes on Patreon, so if you guys want to check out my my monthly written horoscopes, you can check that link in the description box, just as a side note. But I talked a lot about how sometimes Capricorns can feel like non-human, or you guys can almost feel like robotic, because you're not that way at all on the inside, as I've known very deeply a lot of Capricorns. But in a I want to say casual way, or for people who don't know you very well or who haven't known you for very long, can think that you're like not human and can be intimidated by that. For that reason, you tend to be alone a lot, or people don't keep you very high on the list of like invitations or anything, because you're intimidating, because you make people feel let go of, or you make people feel overly structured, or people see their problem areas within you. For this reason, Capricorn and Scorpio tend to get together a lot, because Scorpio also suffers from this, but it's in a more like emotional, psychic way. Whereas with Capricorn, it's in more of a like mundane, physical, tangible way. People see in you, Capricorn, what they can't be. And that's a big cross to bear in life. And ultimately, it gives them a lot, because through seeing what they can't do, they understand what they can. And they understand what they can do very well, but they wouldn't realize necessarily that it was because of you, or that it was because of what you gave to them. This is kind of like, I feel like, Holy Grail type of information for you, Capricorn. So understand it very clearly, that you can give somebody the ultimate gift in life by teaching them what they can't do, by teaching them what they can't be. And that's hard. And you're going to get an extra dose of that. And I feel that it can actually become something quite loving, or quite wanted, or even paid for. For a lot of you Capricorns, you're going to make more money than you ever have in your life during these next 2 years, but pay off the debts that you owe. I'm getting ahead of myself, but to finish off my point there, you can become very high paid, or get a lot of things in life by doing this. Maybe you now get a career as denying people for loans, or denying people for like debt accumulation or something, or you deny bankruptcies, or you even approve these things, which are very stressful events for people. I see Capricorns really enveloping themselves in careers which take a lot from other people, but ultimately give them something through that. Because I mean, just think of bankruptcy in general. Like, people don't want to do bankruptcy, but ultimately, without that, they would never be able to survive financially. So definitely wrapping your head around how sometimes things which feel very negative are ultimately really big blessings for people. And without that, even like, I almost want to say an energetic idea of bankruptcy, let's completely remove the actual financial ideals from that. Through that, and maybe people cashing out energetically or physically, it gives you a lot and them a lot, and you've ultimately saved them. But it's never something they're going to think of as a positive time, you know what I mean? Like, nobody thinks, yes, my bankruptcy was the highlight of my life, you know? But in a way, it creates the possibility for that to be in the future. And I feel through Saturn, if people can't realize what you give to them in this way, with that whole concept, then that only sets them up for failure and elevates you higher into society. So yeah, I'm speaking very Saturnian right now, and it might not be the most positive thing. For those of you who have like an Aries or a Sag or a Leo person, or integration within your chart, be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising sign, and perhaps have a more positive, uplifting message there. But anyway, this reading's long. I'm going to get into the week to week. Week number 1, you guys have 3 of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by 7 of Swords. You feel taken advantage of by somebody at the workplace, or somebody that you have financial connections with. You also feel like maybe you're the best at what you do, but by other people combining their efforts, it becomes something better than you, and you're not feeling like that's fair. Combined efforts, which go against you, definitely come up here. Almost feeling like you're ganged up on, or like people are collaborating against you, or you could win arguments, or you could win things if it weren't for people like having networking abilities. Capricorn really isn't about networking, it's about making something yourself. So maybe you're a little bit upset that other people seem to achieve so quickly what you've done just by knowing the right people. But you're going to become the right person, and you have to remember that, Capricorn. Like, you're the right person. It's better to be the right person than it is to be the people who benefit from that, because you have all that power. Do watch out who you're networking with, though, during this time, and watch out who is, because you can achieve a lot, but at the same time, it feels like everybody's out for themselves right now, which is normal, but it feels very much concentrated, and it feels like to a negative degree right now. So it's a good month. And it's a good month in general, but it's a good week there specifically to pull back from collaboration with other people and see what you yourself can accomplish. In the second week, the sun, rooted down by 4 of Pentacles, your blessings and your accomplishments and building of that which is you comes from letting go, and comes from knowing what to hold on to specifically. That's kind of an oxymoron there, and not a lot of sense comes from that, I know, but 4 of Pentacles has to do with sacred release as well as holding on. So maybe your investments or your stocks or whatever it is need to be cashed out, or maybe you need to invest in other places and hold on to things in new ways. Some of you are becoming very ambitious right now, or becoming very concerned with real world tangible things, which is what Saturn is all about, but you have to create that in your emotional patterns first. And this is where Capricorn can sometimes fail, or can sometimes lose themselves, because you get really caught up in, statistics, or really caught up in the numbers or the black and white, which is real, but at the same time, it's not real. You can't really have a statistics black and white type of experience unless you sign up for it, or unless you apply for it. You're not really going to get a job unless you apply for it. You're not going to really get the money without filing the taxes. You have to sign up for these types of things. In that way, what is more real is what you feel within yourself, because you don't really sign up for that. It's kind of just given to you. So definitely having that light bulb moment, that's kind of actually a light bulb moment for myself. So thank you, Capricorns, for opening up that key of wisdom for me. And that's definitely something that I've learned, as having like Saturn in Sagittarius. I have a lot in Sagittarius, so I've kind of experienced this round of Saturn, and I've had to learn a lot about what is more close to you is within you, not what's without you. And you can put too much emphasis and reality into numbers and money and people in high up places, and come to realize that that was never what you wanted in the first place. So find what's real within you during the second week, Capricorn, because moving into the third week, that's when Saturn comes in, death rooted down by the devil. That's huge. I can't believe those cards came up. I did this photography a long time ago, and without even realizing that was the exact period of time. So the devil is your major arcana card, and connecting death with that. So many endings, shackles being broken off. A lot of you have felt very tied down or constrained or tied to something negative. It can be taken off now. Addictions can end. It's a wonderful time in the third week of December for you guys to say, I don't want to smoke anymore. For you guys to say, I don't need this sex addiction. I don't need money as an addictive tendency. I don't need any of this. And through that, you get so much more of it in the first place, Also, releasing people is going to be important for you guys. Releasing old exes, releasing old experiences of love that became cycles, marriages, divorces. I feel a lot of you are having like a cycle of divorce. Maybe you're getting divorced for the second time, or maybe you're getting divorced for like the seventh time, and that's just become a cycle. I also sense physical desires or stimulations which have become cycles, so watch out for that. Also, there's something quite deep. Some of you may have just had like I don't want to project that at all, but like some of you may be coping from death of a loved one or death of somebody close to you, and you're sort of in this mode where it's like, I will achieve this for that person. Watch out for that. Don't do anything for anybody else right now. Do things for you, but also be responsible within that. Like, you may want to quit your job, or you may want to have some kind of very strong spiritual experience, which is good, but ask yourself if that's best for you, like, because you might think that you do your job for your family or for like your spouse, like that's the only reason that you do your job is to maintain the status quo type of experience, but it may not be. You can fool yourself in that way too. So just really coming into understanding of what you actually want, of what your dreams actually are as a person, and what your ambitions tend to be, will be very important here, because you move out of the third week of December, Capricorn, as a changed person. Very strong experiences can happen. I feel like very wonderful things can happen. Maybe a marriage happens. Maybe you get married during the third week of December. Maybe you have a baby in the third week of December. You could get divorced, or you could also get into some kind of accident. You're not going to get into an accident, Capricorn, unless you know about it, or unless it's already happened, or again, don't let me project for you, but just very life-altering things can happen here. So definitely working in the first half of December, and hopefully all of like 2017, to purge that which is no longer natural, or to like let go of preconceived notions for yourself which you don't need any longer, and you'll have like a really wonderful life-changing experience. And for some of you, it could be that consistency is a life-changing experience, and finally you're just there and you're finally experiencing. That is the highlight for humanity really right now, is having some kind of consistency in a way that maybe you've not thought about it before. And in the fourth week, you guys move in with Temperance, rooted down by 10 of Cups. So a lot of you have gotten married, or a lot of you have been proposed to, or are engaged now, and or having children, something that is family ideals, which it's a good time for it, but it's also going to be necessary to have something outside of it, and something that makes that what you want to do, because Capricorns are kind of cursed in the sense that you're always wanting to do something that you're not doing. For example, if you're like having an amazing job which keeps you like 60 hours in the office or whatever, you're always wanting to be home. You're always wanting to be, watching Netflix or doing something lazy. But at the same time, if you're home, or if you get fired, you're always wanting to do your job, or you're wanting to have a new career, or you're wanting to do something else, So it feels like you need like a career or a project or a business or something to make you want to be with your family, because if you completely devote yourself to that, then you want something else. So that's kind of a key into how you work as a sign, and obviously other parts of your chart will determine this as well, so it may not resonate for everyone. But you've got to find balance in like work and career, in career and love. I feel like those two sectors need to be integrated in a smarter way. Smart, as simple as that sounds, like smart is a really big keyword for you guys. Like things just may not be that smart right now, and you can make it so very quickly and very easily. So allow the sun to rise. You have two cards which depict like the sun energy, or three actually. You have Death, the Sun, and Temperance, which all have a sun rising. So the dark night of the soul may be over now, but it can also start if you're very connected or very invested in dark places. So be smart and be light and be connected. You guys have Nine of Pentacles as your central theme. Riches and luxuries and lavish experiences become yours very soon, so do the right things. You're going to make so much money, you're going to make so much like profits, and I feel like the energy of like dividends, or even like new pets or new people which inspire you to be like a millionaire, or inspire you to be like, I want to say, a spiritual millionaire, or somebody who just has abundance and benevolence. But those types of things can be taken away very easily if, and only if, you are chained to pain of others, okay? Watch out for pain of others. Saturn deals with that and ultimately strips that away. So if you benefit or are addicted to other people's pain cycles, then that's really when Saturn comes in to really take take away your benevolences so that you can no longer use those as distractions. But I feel that a lot of you who are here have already dealt with that, specifically those of you who are going through like the second Saturn. But for those of you who are going through the first Saturn return for you, or Saturn on your sun, definitely do what you can to remove that as quick as possible. Anyway, it's been a wonderful reading, and I've been so happy to give it to you guys. I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. You can always unsubscribe if you don't like it, but it would just mean the world to me, a nice Christmas gift or whatever. Also, you can book a private reading with me in the center of your screen, or check out the playlist for Sun, Moon, Rising signs. The description box also has a lot of useful links, so I will be talking to you guys in January. Much love. Bye.